49ers have signed Ben Bartch to a one-year deal. As far as a low-cost alternative, this is definitely it. He gets a one-year extension, and most likely this means that Aaron Banks' career with the 49ers is coming to an end. Banks is likely to leave in free agency when it begins on March the 12th. He's probably going to price himself out of San Francisco, and the Niners are probably going to replace Banks with Bartch in the short term, and probably somebody else that they draft in the long term. You know, Banks, of course, is better than Bartch. Banks was the starter, but he's going to get a multi-year deal. Banks is probably at worth, 10 to 12 million per season. And, I think the Niners probably look at Ben Bartch and say, you know what? He's not quite Banks, but he's almost as good, and he's a fraction of the price. Now, Bartch was the Jaguars' fourth-round draft choice in the 2020 draft. In 2021, he actually started 11 games. But since then, he's battled a lot of injuries. In 2023, the Jaguars waived him and placed him on their practice squad. And the Jaguars' offensive line coach went to breakfast with Chris Forster, the Niner offensive line coach, and was like, hey, man, you really ought to take a look at this guy. And the Niners picked him off the Jaguars' practice squad. So this year, he started 2 games for the 49ers. He played well in his first start. Then he got injured in that second start, which is kind of a little snapshot of the way his career has gone up to this point. And so now he'll come into camp this summer with a chance to compete for that starting left guard spot. And Spencer Burford is also in the mix. He's entering the final year of his deal. So you could have Bartch and Burford gone by 2026. I would imagine the Niners are going to draft a guard, and that guard will probably be in the mix as well to be the starter. Or if they draft him late, maybe he'll be the guy that takes over the left guard spot from Ben Bartch in a year. But I like Ben Bartch. I really do. I think he's a good player. He was scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent, and so now the Niners retain a player that looked really good in 65 snaps in 2024. He gave up 0 sacks. He only allowed 1 pressure. He had a 74.8 PFF grade. He had a 98.4% pass blocking efficiency grade. All of those stats were career bests for Bartch.